Welcome to True Tall Tales, where reality is stranger than fiction. My name is Sunny Boy, and welcome to a new episode of Triple Tall Tales. ADHA kicking in already. TTT-True Tall Tales. Thank you for coming in for another episode. I'm on a high right now. I just finished a tennis match with my mate Josh, and tennis is my favorite game. I love tennis so much. I'm not good at all. I'm very competitive, but I'm not good. Competitive in a fun way. Anyway, so I have a True Tall Tale for you today that is so funny. It's not my story. It's someone else's tall tale. I'm going to tell it on behalf of them, and for legal reasons, I will not say their actual names, but it's so worth it, and I feel like a lot of people can relate to this story because everyone's kind of, not to this extreme, but everyone's done this in some sort of way. But basically, I have a friend named Michelle, and she lives in a small town. And in this small town, she runs a very successful business with her husband. And they found out that this guy was suing them. And for legal reasons, his name was, let's give him a name, Jim Miller. So, you know, she gets home and she says to her husband, like, who is this Jim Miller person and why is he suing us? Like, who is he? Because when you live in a small town, you kind of know everyone, or you know someone that knows someone, for anyone that's, you know, lives in a small town. And anyway, so she was really curious. Who is this guy? What does he look like? Is he local? Is he just moved to this small town? And why is he suing us? So she put on her Veronica Mars goggles and wanted to become the detective and find out who's this guy and what he looks like and what's his story. So late at night, she had a red wine and she went on Facebook, as you do when you're looking up someone's gram or social media. I think that's how people spy on people these days. And she looked him up and she was searching his name, Jim Miller. Nothing come up. No matches in that town. It was like from the UK and stuff. She's like, okay, searching again. Maybe his name's James Miller. So she typed in James Miller. It's like, fuck, I'm getting no matches and stuff. So, she did it again. Jimmy Miller. Jimmy Miller. James Miller. Caps lock, not caps lock. She was just searching for a long time and she had no matches and she was getting very frustrated. And she's like, why the fuck can I not find this guy that's suing us named Jim Miller? And she gave up because she was just like, okay, maybe he just doesn't have Facebook. There's a lot of people out there that just don't have social media on Facebook, or maybe his name's under a different name and she couldn't find him. So she gave up and she was annoyed and she had anxiety on that night because, who's this person that's going to sue you? And she got to sleep and she woke up the next day. And when she woke up, she had about 50 text messages on her phone. And when she opened up her phone, she's like, straight away, who gets 50 messages on their phone? Unless you're like a massive billionaire or a celebrity or something. And in these messages, they were from her best friends she hasn't spoken to in a while, family members, and they all said the same thing, saying, hey, Michelle, are you okay? Michelle, are you okay? Who's Jim Miller? And Michelle said that her heart just dropped and she was just like, fuck. Called her husband and she goes, this is in the bloody newspaper now. This guy is suing us so bad that it's in the paper, it's on the news, because every Tom and Jerry knows about it because she's just got 50 messages saying, hey, Michelle, are you okay? Who's Jim Miller? Who's Jim Miller? And Michelle was trying to hide this, because it's kind of like something you don't want to get out about your business because things affect your business. And she was just like, who is this person and how does everyone know about him? Anyway, she gets a phone call after that from her best friend. And her best friend calls her and says, hey, Michelle, how you doing? Are you okay? I just wanted to check up on you. And Michelle's like, whoa. How do you know about Jim Miller? Where did you read this? And her friend turned around and said, Michelle, last night your Facebook status was Jim Miller, Jim Miller, Jim Miller in caps, James Miller, Jimmy Miller, Jimmy Mills. And Michelle said her heart dropped so much she wanted to vomit everywhere and goes, fuck. And then obviously her best friend's like, what? And she's like, this guy's suing me. And she's like, why have you put it through as your status? And she goes, I was trying to search for him on Facebook to find out who he was because I want to know who he is and where is he from and what's his story. So poor old Michelle wasn't in search bar on the top in Facebook. She was on middle bar, Facebook status. Sorry, I'm laughing so much right now that she was searching his name So all these people that she's friends with, that she's trying to hide that this Jim Miller's suing her, her Facebook that night was just come up, Jim Miller, James Miller. So now Michelle, who's being sued by this guy, looks like a crazy person who doesn't care that he's being sued and trying to take him on or something by just putting his name on her Facebook status. That so many people have obviously seen. There's no crawling back from this. How do you explain it? You're trying to hide the fact that you're getting sued. Now, every person that you meet is going to be like, hey, who's Jim Miller, by the way? And why did you keep putting his name in your Facebook? So anyway, Michelle calls her son, crying, and says, please, you need to help me. You need to show me how to delete this Jim Miller thing. And then the son's like, who's Jim Miller, Mum? You know what I mean? So she's going through this anxiety and, oh, God, you could just imagine how she felt. And her son, obviously deleted all the posts. And that's only good for people who haven't seen the post, right? But if you're getting 50 text messages, a lot of people have seen it. And I guess, if I was on Facebook and I seen my friend just putting up a name 50 times at night, I'd be like, what is wrong with Michelle? Why is she doing this? Is she crazy? Blah, 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 blah. Anyway, the funniest thing about this, obviously me talking to Michelle when she told me the story, I was laughing so much. Also being a really good friend and we've all been in that situation, not to that extent. And she admitted to me and said, yeah, but you know what the worst thing is, Sonny? And I said, what? And she goes, when you just search people that you're friends in high school, or you want to know how people are doing, or you had the hots for someone and you kind of want to know what they're up to. I said, yeah, that's a normal thing to do. She goes, well, that's what I was doing. I was going on Facebook and I was searching for them doing that. And I was getting no matches. And I just thought, oh, God, I don't know how to use Facebook. And maybe they don't have Facebook. Let alone if she's got to go back to her pages on Facebook to go back to delete it because it's just random names popping up on her Facebook status of people that she was searching to see what they're up to. So lesson learned for Michelle that she will probably not use Facebook again. I don't think she did. Or yeah. And like I said, we've all been in that situation where, you have someone on mind that's kind of pissed you off, or something's happened, or someone's upset you, and, you reach out to a friend or your partner or your loved one and you message about the situation because it's obviously hurting you inside. And then you press send, and then and then your heart drops and goes, fuck. Because what did you do? You sent it to that person because you were thinking about that person. So when you went in your contacts and you sent it to that person. So like I said, we've all been there in the situation, but for poor old Michelle, I think to the extent hers is way worse because hers just wasn't one text message. This was to the whole world of the internet and all friends and family on Facebook and stuff. So, I don't know what happened with Jim Miller, or if he ever saw those text messages or that got to him. But if he found out about that he was the one suing them, and then the one that you're suing, they're putting your name in Facebook status, wouldn't you think, this is a fucking crazy bitch. Why is she putting my name and I'm suing them and stuff? So, yeah, it's just one of those situations where you just dig in your own hole and you're stuck in your own hole. And it's an awful feeling. It's an awful feeling. I feel really bad. And I just don't think Michelle's going to make that mistake again. But it's a true tall tale. It's a great tale that I wanted to share with you because when she told me, I was crying in laughter. I obviously felt bad, but you put yourself in this situation and yeah, you just what a fuck up. What a massive fuck up. Anyway, that is my true tall tale for today. If you want to be on the show or you want to send me a story, please write in and send me an email to truetalltalespodcast@gmail.com and I'll get back to you. I'll get you on the show or I'll share your story. And follow me anywhere on the socials or watch it on YouTube or what's so. Love doing this for you. Love hearing everyone's stories. Love telling you stories. My name is Sonny Boy. You're listening to Triple T. Have a good night and say hello to your dogs for me. Peace out. Bye-bye. Meow.